Sony's latest and greatest, the PlayStation 5, has come swinging out of the gates with a great lineup of system sellers, such as the likes of Demon's Souls Remake, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and so much more. Despite delays to many high-profile releases, Sony has managed to make the first year of the console a successful one. Of course, there's a lot more to look forward to in the coming years, and there are 15 PS5 exclusives releasing in the future that you should keep an eye out for. Please note that this list consists of both timed, console, and full-on exclusives. SIFU.
Harder! Hit him harder!
Slow Clap, the developer behind the martial arts-based Absolver, is returning to its roots once again with SIFU. Players assume the role of a kung fu student who sets out to exact revenge for the death of his family. SIFU is built around a very interesting mortality mechanic, wherein players will age by a certain number upon death, which has repercussions on stats like health and damage. It goes a lot deeper than just that, of course, and with a distinct art style and deep combat system, SIFU seems to be shaping up really well. It's currently slated for release on February 8th, 2022. Stray. Set against a cyberpunk cityscape, Stray is all about the story of a cute cuddly cat that has been separated from its family. Gameplay involves exploring the environments in search of more information about the world and solving simple yet satisfying puzzles. There are light combat elements and dialogue options too, courtesy of a companion drone by the name of B12. It looks to be a really promising game that's doing something out of the box, and it releases early 2022 for PS4, PS5, and PC. Besides, who doesn't want to scratch sofas as an adorable furball? Horizon Call of the Mountain. PlayStation made a slew of important acquisitions over the past year, and the fruits of those investments have already started to bear. Guerrilla Games announced Horizon Call of the Mountain as a joint development venture with Firesprite Games, a PSVR 2 game set in the universe of, you guessed it, Horizon. We don't have much gameplay details at this point, although Guerrilla Games studio director Jan Bart van Beek seems confident that the game will, quote, change what AAA development means for VR. If the studio's track record is anything to go by, this shouldn't be a cause of concern at all. Horizon Forbidden West.
Think you can hurt me?
Developer Guerrilla Games delivered an excellent open-world experience in the form of 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn, and the team is currently hard at work with its sequel. Horizon Forbidden West is set to release on February 18th of this year. The game looks gorgeous with lush environments and striking art direction. Players can expect a bevy of new additions to the formula as well, including but not limited to a paraglider and improved climbing system. There are even deadlier machines to fight, more gear to collect, and of course, the entirety of the Forbidden West to explore. God of War Ragnarok. Sony Santa Monica delivered an excellent experience with 2018's God of War, which combined the over-the-top action that has come to define the series along with a heartfelt narrative. Of course, the journey of Kratos and Atreus isn't over yet, and fans can expect a ton of new story revelations and memorable set pieces as the duo battles their foes. God of War Ragnarok doesn't have a specific release date yet, although it will be releasing sometime this year. GHOSTWIRE Tokyo. GHOSTWIRE Tokyo has seen its fair share of delay ever since its announcement, but it will be finally launching this year for the PlayStation 5. The game sees players battling weird mishmashes of Japanese yokai and horror urban legends, using a ton of different spells to weaken and ultimately shun the spirits of enemies. Chia. Chia is a game about a little girl exploring the vast stretches of a tropical world. You can use the protagonist's special abilities to control any animal, glide from high places, sail around in a boat, or even play the Last of Us-inspired ukulele to your heart's content. At its core, Chia seems to be a chill experience that's sure to jive well to fans of games like Journey. Chia will be releasing sometime this year. Forspoken. Forspoken sees players controlling Frey, a woman from New York who gets transported to the mythical world of Athia, all while a mysterious bracelet finds its way into her hand, giving her the ability to cast spells. FORSPOKEN primarily entails exploring the vast reaches of this land, which has now been reduced to a shadow of its former self thanks to a corruption. The core gameplay looks fun, from casting spells to fighting beasts to ice skating along the ground and so much more. FORSPOKEN looks to be one of the more promising games of 2022 and will be releasing on May 24th, 2022. Final Fantasy XVI. Another AAA game on this list, Final Fantasy XVI is one of the most highly anticipated games right now. It's still in active development, although fans can expect to hear more news in spring of this year. Set against the high fantasy world of Valisthea, players control a band of protagonists on a grand quest to find the Blight. Combat works roughly the same way as Final Fantasy XV and Final Fantasy VII Remake, with players using a variety of melee strikes and spellcasts. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has a ton of video game outings, although most would unanimously agree that Insomniac knocked it out of the park with 2018's Spider-Man, as well as 2020's follow-up, Miles Morales. It's no surprise that the developer is continuing work on the franchise with a full-fledged sequel in the works. Players will be returning to the shoes of Peter Parker as he teams up with Miles Morales to defeat the deadly Venom. Not a lot of gameplay details are known as of yet, although fans can expect to hear more sometime this year. Spider-Man 2 will release for PS5 sometime in 2023. Wolverine. Insomniac Games has cemented itself as one of the premier studios in Sony's first-party roster with its excellent Spider-Man titles. Fans across the globe are extremely excited for the studio's next new major production, Marvel's Wolverine. We don't have a lot of details about the game's story or any related mechanics, but if the studio's track record is anything to go by, it would most likely turn out to be a great time. Marvel's Wolverine is currently in development for PS5, with no release windows revealed as of yet. Gran Turismo 7. Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo series has always served as a visual showcase for Sony's consoles, and the next rendition of this decades-long simulation series is no different. Gran Turismo 7 is set to feature best-in-class physics, loads of cars from different companies around the globe, and a ton of customization options. The game has been recently rated by ESRB and is on track to meet its release date of March 4th, 2022 for both the PS5 and PS4. Lost Soul Aside. Starting life as a one-man passion project, Lost Soul Aside is a game that's heavily inspired by Metal Gear Rising and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Players take control of Krazer and his seemingly spirit buddy Arena as they fight the monstrous entities that roam the lands. It's not the most riveting of premises for a story, but we all know what we're here for. From the high fantasy world to the slick action sequences to the adrenaline-pumping boss fights, Lost Soul Aside has no shortage of great moments, and we cannot wait to hack and slash our way through the Empire when the game finally releases on PS4, PS5, and PC sometime in 2022. DEATHVERSE Let It Die. A follow-up to the Grasshopper manufacturer-developed Let It Die, DEATHVERSE Let It Die ditches its roguelike roots for a new emphasis on PvP, where players compete against each other in a fight to the death. Players don a number of unique and wacky outfits, and will use a number of equally wacky weaponry to do the killing. Players can also craft new weapons, and there are some seemingly character-specific abilities present as well. It looks to be a bit janky due to rough animations and subpar visuals, but has a lot of style to make up for all of its inconsistencies. DEATHVERSE Let It Die releases sometime this year for PS4 and PS5. GRANBLUE Fantasy RELINK. GRANBLUE Fantasy RELINK has been in development for almost 6 years now, but it will be releasing sometime this year for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's a 4-player co-op JRPG, and plays just as one would expect from a game of this ilk. The combat has some flashy moves, and while it isn't the most original of games, it looks fun to play regardless. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on GamingBolt.